The bitter Arctic chill continues its onslaught over much of the United States and Canada. Even states normally boasting mild winter climates recorded temperatures below freezing. The most brutal cold hits the Midwest, dragged down as the polar vortex brought frigid air from the Arctic. The town of Embarrass, Minnesota, recorded the lowest temperature at minus 37 Celsius. That's lower than readings recently recorded on Mars.
A deadly blast of Arctic air that smashed decades-old records is continuing to wreak havoc as it moves across to the U.S. East Coast. Road, rail and air travel have been severely disrupted, along with schools and businesses, forcing thousands to remain home. And those who braved the tumbling temperatures wish they hadn't.
Don't want to be outside at all. Not at all. Yeah, my skin, like the moment you walk outside, your skin hurts.
It's brutal out here. It is unbelievably cold out here, like no other. This is ridiculous.
Airline ticket counter lines stretch for hours.
I don't know if anyone actually knows where any of the lines go, or what they're for.
More than 10,000 canceled flights in the last 3 days have turned airports across the country into temporary makeshift hotels. Travelers resting on cots or on the floor, anything to pass the time until takeoff. More than 4,500 flights were canceled Monday, and more than 3,000 flights have been canceled today, according to FlightAware.com.
We're supposed to be in the Bahamas on Saturday. They want us to now land there on Wednesday.
Adding to the travel issues, a move by JetBlue to cancel more than 500 flights Monday and Tuesday at 4 major Northeast airports. The company blamed new federal pilot rest rules and a weekend of bad winter weather. This afternoon, JetBlue said they were back on schedule. However, they still have thousands of displaced customers.
Certainly the airport there is really struggling because they can't get the fuel inside the aircraft. They've had to ground half of the flights there because the fuel is frozen. So it's literally come to a standstill with people unable to get anywhere, particularly on trains as well. 3 trains were stranded in the Chicago area last night. 500 passengers left on those trains as they ploughed into or couldn't get through the snow and ice that was on the tracks. Nobody was hurt, although it is thought that across this terrible weather that America's seen over the past few days,
Southwest Michigan, lighthouses transforming into Arctic ice castles. And this fountain left running outside Minneapolis, now a mountain of ice. Overnight, a Chicago family trapped in their car for more than 15 hours.
We were calling for help, and it was no one there to help us.
On that same highway, ice road nightmare. Truckers everywhere praying they won't be next.
I'd freeze to death before I got help.
And in Indianapolis, in the middle of the snowstorm, a young mother giving birth to her first child by herself at home early Monday morning.
Her due date was not until the 21st. I think she wanted to see the blizzard. She didn't want to miss out.
In temperatures like this, with wind chills, in the 50 to 60 below range, in 2 to 5 minutes, exposed skin can start to freeze. So frostbite, obviously, we're worried about skin, fingers, toes, ears, noses, that kind of thing. But being out in the cold temperature, letting the core temperature fall, can actually be life-threatening. It can stop one's heart. It can stop one's breathing.
Officials are still advising people to stay indoors as much as possible, and homeless shelters have been flooded by those seeking refuge.
Still, there have been dozens of wrecks across the country, and officials are urging folks to take it easy out there. Hundreds of truckers are stranded in Indiana, forced off highways too dangerous to navigate. AAA facing a tsunami of calls. Today, the job was breathing new life into frozen engines.
But the freezing conditions are no laughing matter for the homeless. As Kath Turner reports from New York, tens of thousands of people are sleeping in shelters every night.
It's a full house at the Bowery Mission for the homeless. In extremely cold conditions, the shelter opens its chapel and dining room to accommodate extra demand. On Monday night, temperatures fell to minus 15 degrees Celsius. The shelter took in 179 people who had nowhere to go. New York's homeless population has been steadily growing and is now at record levels, figures not seen since the Great Depression in the 1930s. Every night, shelters take in around 55,000 people.